Hello, fellow builders, and welcome back to the bench. Mediocre Modeler here, and I know we're all, hopefully, doing your social distancing. Since we can't do that, we'll come to our workbench and we'll get some stuff done there. Now, we'll get beyond this. Don't panic. I'll help you. We'll get beyond this, and before you'll know it, we'll be back to shaking hands and slapping backs, kissing babies, and honey hugging. You know, it'll work. Just no touchy. Okay. Now that we got that out of the way, last time we were together, we were finishing up printing the Mandalorian helmet. So in the meantime, we've gotten a couple of things done. I started the process of bondoing the crown. If you remember, I printed it upside down. So the support structure was all here that I had to rip away, and it attached pretty wood, so it left a little bit of a, you could see where the layers weren't level. It was, go back and watch the other video, you'll see what I'm saying. Or I guess I could just put up a picture of what it looked like. We'll do that. We'll put up the picture. Anywho, so I used two-part mixing Bondo on there, which I know it's probably not good for me. I like the smell of Bondo, but it kind of stinks at the same time. So I did that in the garage. I had to mix it twice because it's been a while, and I got my ratio off on the hardener tube, and it flashed really quick, and so that first batch I messed up. What I did though was the platform that was here, I used that to mix the Bondo on, and so that was a nice use. So instead of just throwing away all this extra plastic, it's a good use of that material. I'll probably use it 2 or 3 more times, because once the Bondo was set on that, since it was fairly smooth, it peeled right off. But back to this. My normal inclination is to get this thing glass smooth, and I don't want to do that. There are little pits and divots in the Bondo where I've leveled it off, and I'm just going to leave those. I'm always talking about how it's got to tell a story and leaving character, and my thought is, like, if it's a part of the story of this Mandalorian, your thought is like, whoa, man, what did he do that it damaged the Beskar? You know, I've got, and it's like these three pits right here, and they're almost in a line. So my head cannon is like, bump, 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 you know, something hit like that, bump, bump, bump. So I'm just going to leave that. I'm going to go down. You've got a little bit of threading. That was, again, where the support material was. You had a little bit of threading going on there. And what I mean by threading is like on the inside of that. This here. This is threading, or that's what I'm calling it. So we'll talk about this in a minute. So I'm gonna get the rest of this sanded out. I use the Dremel Versa sander to get that knocked down, because the Bondo was a little bit thick. This I can do by hand. Flake off the parts that I don't want on there, and just kind of this upper edge is what I'm trying to smooth out. Again, where there was support material, it's very jagged and thready, so I'm gonna fix that. So I'm gonna rest you there. Okay. The other thing I was working on was, this is one of the gauntlets, and trying to figure out how I was going to hinge it, what I was going to do with it. So this is the right arm, And what I want is I want the outside to look pretty. So I'm going to have to figure out a clasp or something for this outside. But I really think what I'm also going to do is going to line the bottom and the cuff in the back with Velcro and sew Velcro onto the coverall so that when I put it on there and snap it shut, it stays in the right orientation. So that's what we're going to do there. And this is just this side. The wonderful thing about 3D prints, and it just occurred to me today. When you go out and buy a regular model and you have to modify it, you get very apprehensive about, oh, if you cut something or you have to drill a hole in something, because that takes more time. You're going to have to go back and repair that hole or fix that cut or realign something because you messed up. I messed up on my hinging. I was trying to put the hinges too close together, and so this was my first attempt. And I wasn't sure what I was going to do about fixing it, but that's all fixable. It's vinyl. I've got stuff I can fix it with. But the beautiful part that I realized is it's 3D printed. If I mess it up, I can just go print another one. I'm not waiting weeks for it to arrive. I'm not calling the manufacturer and say, that piece was missing or warped. No, all I got to do is go to the computer, click, 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 put another file, and 10, 12 hours later, I got another one. And with this messed up one, all I have to do is just modify it in another way, make it something else. So, a plus to 3D printing that I didn't even consider. So, what do we got next? Okay, hold on. Oh. The other thing that I got to complete was the shoulder guard. And if you remember, this was like kind of a domed piece of plastic from my clone trooper armor, and I wanted to have a little bit different profile, so I cut the bottom of it. I wanted it to be more angular like that, and once I put the foam border on, it changed. I wasn't getting. I kind of have it that angle, but not really. But it's irrelevant. I still haven't figured out what my signet's going to be. I just don't want to default to the regular Mandalorian one, and I don't want to do the Mudhorn. I got to figure something out. If you have any suggestions, shoot me a email onto the channel of some ideas what you think maybe I'm not thinking of broad enough. I thought about doing an alien from Aliens. That would be kind of cool, but I kind of want to stay in canon. Or I could just make something up, and that's a Tyvortian wart dweller. I don't know. So, anyway, but that came out really well. And then I got the fabric for the armor for this to attach to. So that's something else I'm going to have to tackle. But I just kind of wanted to give you a quick update on where we were in the midst. I've got my Mandalorian inspiration right here on the desk, and actually I've looked at it several times to just kind of figure out where I am and what am I doing, kind of keeping me on track. How many more pieces do I want? Do I want to have the cape? Do I want to have the Wookiee pelts? Do I want to have the belt? I'm probably going to forego the pockets. I'm working on the leg guards. I made a template. So here's my leg guard template. And so, ooh, yeah, I keep forgetting white is not good for camera. But I was thinking about doing the same thing with this as I did with this, using the foam and rim it around the edge. And just do it like that, just kind of fold it over the leg. And this gives me a big open area. I was also thinking about on one of the legs having a side pocket, side sheath for a vibro blade down that low. I haven't counted that out, but I probably need to go and find one that I like on Thingiverse to print. So we're going to set that off to the side. You're caught up. So, until I have more to show you, be safe, stay separated, and go build something. Especially if you're sheltering in place. What else you gonna do? Well, there are other projects you could be doing. You don't necessarily need to model build. But make time to model build. That's a good one. So, we'll see you next time. Pew 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 pew.